Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with dueling Das Lieds. Two Das Lied von der Erde. And I've been sitting on these for a long time, and they're upside down, which probably because I've been sitting on them. There we go. Trying to do comparisons. And, because neither of them is perfect. Neither of them is quite ideal. There are certain classic recordings of Das Lied von der Erde. There really are. And, the classic ones are the Klemperer with Christa Ludwig and Fritz Wunderlich, the Haitink with James King and Janet Baker, possibly the first Bernstein with James King and Fischer Dieskau. But, the Das Lied sweepstakes is very incestuous because the same singers keep popping up. You have René Collo doing the tenor part for Karajan and Schulte. You have Janet Baker running around with Haitink and other people. I mean, whatever else she did. She did a few times. Christa Ludwig, yes, with Klemperer and Karajan. And, they all do it over and over again with different people. And this is no exception. It is a singularly bizarre aspect of the record industry that even independent labels, and here we're dealing with Channel Classics and PentaTone, smallish independent labels, but still that do wonderful things, can have Das Lied von der Erde with the same tenor. In this case, Robert Dean Smith, who's very good. He's really good, but with different altos. We have, let's see, what do we have here? On PentaTone, we have the Berlin Radio Symphony Orchestra and Vladimir Jurowski, and the alto is Dame Sarah Connolly. And in this other thing here, we have the Budapest Festival Orchestra under Ivan Fischer on Channel Classics, and the alto is Gerhild Romberger. Now, so that's the state of play. You have same tenors, different altos, different orchestras, different conductors. How do they shake out? So let's start with Channel Classics. I think Gerhild Romberger is the better of the two altos in this particular sweepstakes. She has a somewhat fruity, matronly sound. She's definitely a contralto, but it's very steady singing. And because she's German, she really has fun with the text. The problem with this performance is Fischer. Fischer and the Budapest Festival Orchestra. Now, the orchestra plays beautifully. They always do. And the sonics are lovely as well. But Fischer is just fast and light. And I don't know why. Not in Abschied, not in the final song. That's aptly grave and impressive. But the first song, the drinking song of Earth's Misery, there's not enough misery. I mean, it just floats by. And it needs to just be more trenchant. It needs to have more rhythm. You need to dig harder. The same is true of some of the inner songs, of youth and of beauty. Those middle ones, they just flit by, especially of beauty. Of beauty has to be a little bit more languid at the opening. Junge Mädchen pflücken Blumen, and then all of a sudden he's da 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 da. It doesn't give the middle section an opportunity to really erupt, with the necessary violence and contrast. So that's kind of a letdown, frankly, even though the two singers are quite good. Fischer, sometimes in his Mahler, he seems a little bit superficial. And this is one of those times. So, how do we have Jurowski? I think Jurowski's conducting is definitely finer. It's not just that he takes things at a little bit more measured a tempo, although not in Abschied, he's a little quicker, actually. But in the first song, the drinking song, of Beauty, it's just that much more time for the orchestration and the words, the text to really tell. Really does. I mean, and Jurowski is very flexible in his conducting. He has a wonderful rubato that I think is quite affecting. It's a beautiful interpretation of Das Lied. And I think Robert Dean Smith, the tenor, sounds a little better here, largely because he has a little more time. And also because the sonics put the voices, well, they surround the voices with the orchestra a little bit more effectively. Here, they're a little bit more upfront, which is understandable, especially in the tenor songs, because, they're virtually impossible. But I just really, really prefer to hear, the voices embedded in the orchestra the way they are embedded here. So that's really good. Sarah Connolly, however, listen, she never had a very beautiful voice. It's not terrible. She's not unsteady, but she's lighter voiced than what Gerhild Romberger. They're dueling, see? Dueling Das Lieds. They're having a duel. And so, Sarah Connolly just isn't as effective in the way she handles the text and in the way she sustains the notes. And you want to have a weightier, sort of more solid voice than she has. She's not terrible. She really isn't. But I don't think that this is a really characteristic Das Lied von der Erde, Earth Mother kind of voice. So, if I had a choice, what I would prefer, if I got them back, they're back now, I think that the best option would have been to have, let's see, Jurowski conducting, the Budapest Festival Orchestra, Robert Dean Smith, and Gerhild Romberger. That would have been ideal. That might have been maybe one of the great Das Lieds. But as it is, they're in different parts and different pieces, different bits. And so you have two imperfect Das Lieds. And, what can I say? They don't challenge the reference recordings in this work. And I'm sorry, but that's the way it went. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.